Now we are going to discuss about the using various data type. The data stored in the memory of the computer can be of many type. The previous class I पढ़ले variable. The variable is a memory location where we have to store a value. The variable होची गोटे location जोठी हमें value store करिवा. तो से location हमें को type रो value store करिवा. तो सेति पे हमें use करिवा पानी बोतल तो परिवार रहिबोनी. तो पानी बोतल भी गोटे लोकेशन बैग भी गोटे लोकेशन तो से जगह में कौन रखिबा. तो वेरिएबल डाटा टाइप define the type of data that will store in a variable. So Java is a strictly type language, which means that Java gives importance to the type checking. So there are different data types we are using. And in Java, your data type is divided into the three parts. One primitive data type, reference data type, another is abstract data type. As Java is a strictly type language, which means that Java gives importance to the type checking. And there are three type of data type we are using: primitive data type, reference data type, another is abstract data type. So three type of data type we are using. So primitive type is what? Primitive type is called as the built-in data type in Java, in known as primitive or simple data type. Built-in data type in Java. Built-in means which is predefined, which is already defined by the Java dictionary. So that is called as the primitive data type. This primitive data type, it is grouped into the four categories. The primitive data type is grouped into the four categories. One is integer type, floating point type, Boolean type, and character type. Okay, so integer type, Boolean type can store the whole number. Integer type can store the whole number. माने जोड़ा pure number अच्छी integer type store करिवा. Floating data type contain the fractional number. जोकि decimal number अच्छी सेरा store करिवा. Boolean type can store the true and false value. Character type can store the symbol such as letters and numbers. Okay, so there are four type of data type we are using. It can store the whole number. It can store the fractional number. Boolean type can store the true and false value. Character type can store the symbols such as letters and numbers. That is called the character data type. Now, integer type. In integer, there are different data type we are using: byte, short, int, long. So these are the data type we are using. For byte, size is 1 byte. For short, it is 2 byte. For int, it is 4 byte. For long, it is 8 byte. The default value of all integer is 0. Default value of all integer is 0. That means आमे जदि इंटीजर बा int डाटा टाइप किबा बाइट डाटा टाइप किबा शॉर्ट किबा लॉन्ग जदि आमे डिफाइन करूचे ताहले आमे जदि कोनोसी वैल्यू से जगह रे स्टोर न करूचे ताहले डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू सेटा 0 रहइबो. For floating point it is 0.0. For boolean it is contain true and false value. Size is 1 bit. For character, char data type we are using. Default value is null. For integer, byte, short, int, long, default value is 0. For floating point is 0.0, 0.0. For boolean it is false. For character it is null. So these are the different data type we are using: integer, floating point, boolean, and character. Integer default value रहिबो 0, floating point रहिबो 0.0, boolean रहिबो false, character रहिबो null. Default value माने जदि at the time of declaration variable टा में declare करिवा, at the time of declaration जदि हमें value initialization न करूचे ताले ये डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू गुडा को इनिशियलाइजेशन हो
सर माने हम जदी वैल्यू न दउछु
होगला
ता माने हमें को वैल्यू न दबा जदी
हां जदी डिक्लेरेशन कला बेले जदी हमें वैल्यू स्टोर न करिवा ताले से समय एटा यूज करै जे now see that reference data type it contain the address where you store the value. It contains the reference or an address of dynamically created object. It is known as non-primitive data type. Default value of the variable of reference data type is null. If you are not storing any value, it stores the null. Example of reference data type is one is object, another is array. Reference data type contains the reference or address of the dynamically created object. It is also known as non-primitive data type. Default value for this data type is null. Means if you are not storing any value, you store the null value. Example of reference data type is object and array. माने से कौन करिवो डायरेक्टली कौन सी वैल्यू रखेंगे से रखे जो एड्रेस where your value is stored. Now abstract data type it includes the data type derived from the primitive data type and have more function than the primitive data type. Reference data type बुझियला?
Yes sir.
आयुष बुझियला? आयुष
आगे सर
बुझियला एटा
आगे
तर abstract data type अर्थ होची कोन देखो suppose for storing a character value char na then you are able to store only one letter then char na size is 4 suppose size is 5 then I able to store suppose HELLO. If I want to store a string अच्छा here what happened ये जो क्या रे एने हमें जो डिफाइन कले मो देली 5 ताल मो 5टा ही कैरेक्टर स्टोर कर परिबी 5 रु जदी मो अधिक स्टोर करिया चाहू छी सपोज हेलो 5 एटी स्टोर करिया चाहू छी कहिछि केते 5 डिफाइन करछि ता परे जदी मो किछि अधिक जदी एठी डिफाइन करिवि HELL देन मोर चारटा स्पेस नेली जो आउ गोटे स्पेस जोटा रिमेनिंग रही गला एटा मो पय आउ फ्री हबो नै इट इज नॉट फ्री फॉर द यूजर तो एटा मेमोरीटा कौन हो गला ना ऑक्युपाइड हो गला मु 5 डिफाइन करछि किंतु 4 यूज करली तो आउ गोटे स्पेस एटा फ्री हबो नै तो सेति पय मु ए जगह रे यूज करली कोन ना स्ट्रिंग डाटा टाइप तो स्ट्रिंग na is equals to hello string na is equals to hello तो एटा हमरा डिफाइन करा so that means जदि हमें स्ट्रिंग डाटा टाइप यूज करूचे मु एठी जदि हेलो छडा आउ किछि भी वर्ड स्टोर करिया चाहूची मते एठी किछि साइज दबा दरकार नै
यदि आटू कम वर्ड भी रखुची मते साइज डिक्रीज करिया दरकार नै ये कौन करिवो ना डायनामिकली मेमोरी आलोकेट करिवो तो एठी हमें स्ट्रिंग टाको कहिबा abstract data type means it can store any type of number any length of the number here. The string is called as what? Abstract data type. The string टाको एठी हमें abstract data type बोली कहिबा बुझियला
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ yes
the keywords available in the Java. Keywords are the reserved word for a language which express the language feature. Keyword cannot be used to name a variable, constant or class. As Java is a case sensitive language, keyword should be written in lowercase only. Okay, so Java is a case sensitive language. So there are a lot of keyword you are using, public, system. These are the different keywords are available. Keyword with all or some letter in uppercase can be treated as a variable name, but that should be avoided. So there are different type of keywords that we're using: abstract, case, constant, finally, if, int, new, public, strict f, this, try, enum. So these are the different data type we're using. The variable is what? The variable is the name or it refers to the memory location where we store the value. जेमते कि हमें सिनेमा देखिया को जीवा सेते बेले हमें गोटे सीट बुकिंग करूचे से सीट रे हमें बसुचे फॉर द पर्टिकुलर टाइम जेतबेले मोर टाइमिंग टा सरी जाउची तरे से जो स्पेस टा बा से जो सीट टा आ गोटे लोक पे अवेलेबल होउची नेक्स्ट शो पे तो वेरिएबल टा होची सेमती तो इट इज ए memory location where we have to store the value and that value changes throughout the program execution. Java allocate the memory to each variable that you use in a program. Each variable that is used in a program must be declared first. So first eta ko declare kariya padibo. So each variable that is used in a program must be declared first and variable value is always changes. तो सेमती हमें constant define करिवा. Constant is a memory location where we store the value. That value never changes. So constant is a memory location where we store the value. That value never changes means the bedroom for you it is not changes, it is only for you and it is belongs to you. So that is you can say it is a constant. Now when you define a variable you have to follow some kind of rule. While you are defining a variable, the variable must not contain any embedded space. So cannot define any embedded space in a variable. Okay, so I suppose student if I define student name, so you define here student space name, so it is wrong. While defining a variable, the space is not applicable. If space is required, you have to use a underscore here. And next is what? When you define a variable name should not start with any number. The variable name should not start with any number. If variable is start with a number, then it shows an error. Variable is not start with any symbol. You cannot define here symbol. Symbol like percentile, multiplication, it is not required. If you want to start with a symbol, only two symbol is applicable, that is underscore, another is dollar symbol. So these are the two symbol is applicable while you have to defining a variable. Variable name should not contain any embedded white space. Variable name should not consist of any keyword. Variable name in Java is a case sensitive. It means what? If you define a variable, suppose I define here case sensitive score, it is a small score. If I define as a when I define a small score and if I initialize as a capital, so it is a wrong thing. Both are not same. So it is having a distinction between the small and capital. Smaller and capital. Smaller is treated as different, capital is treated as different. So these are the naming convention for defining a variable. Bujhela?
Yes, sir.
Now I show you how to write a program. Writing a program in Java, the first for writing a program in Java, the first I define the class keyword. Class, then class name. Class and class name. The class is a keyword for defining a class in Java. And example is what? Like class name is my class. That is the way for defining a class in Java. Now in between the class, we have to define the program. Now I show you how to write a program. Class my first PRG, then I have to define public static void main in bracket I pass here string args. Then I define here
Untitled. It is showing you this is a
it is a comment line. It is a comment line that we are using. is a keyword for defining a class. Public means it is access specifier. Public means access specifier. Static means constant. Only one copy of given object is created. Only one copy of given object is created. Static means constant. Only one copy is created. Means if it is a Java class and you have a name, so in your name, other name person cannot be entered. So it is called a static. Means main method is always static. Means there is always having some kind of constant related thing. There is no having any kind of duplication. So that it is called a static. Void. Void, it is called return type. So when you are executing a function, function means there is a set of instruction to which is used to do a specific task. So this function is processed and it is returning some value. So void is a return type which doesn't return any value. Main is a main which is called
Program is a main method which is called the entry point of program. Execution starts from main method. String ArJS is an array parameter which is used to
receive the information to and from method. System is a predefined class. System.out is a variable of print stream class. Okay. which is responsible to display information on screen. Println is a method which is responsible to show information on screen and cursor moves to
next line. এটা ডিসপ্লে କରିବ cursor next line କୁ ଯିବ।
method is used to display information and cursor is present in same line. Okay. So first of all, class. For writing a program, we're using class. So class is a keyword for defining a program in Java. I mean, for defining a class in Java. तापर आमे डिफाइन कले पब्लिक मेन मेथड सब पब्लिक हो पब्लिक माने समस्त को एक्सेस करि परिबे सब लोक आमे मल्टीपल प्रोग्राम बनेवा डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जगह रे स्टोर करिवा तो सब प्रोग्राम गुडा को कोठी कॉल हबो ना मेन मेथड रे कॉल हबो बा मेन मेथड रे देखो आमे बिल्ड अप करिवा रन करिवा तनो सेतबेले सबोले आमे मेन मेथड को पब्लिक डिफाइन करिवा स्टैटिक होची से कहूची जे मेन मेथड भली आउ गोटे ना ए जगह रही पारिबो नाही तेनु सेति पे डिफाइन कराला स्टैटिक जेतेबेले फंक्शन टा प्रोसेस हुए फंक्शन टा होची इट इज अ सेट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन व्हिच इज यूज्ड टू डू ए स्पेसिफिक टैस्क इसे टैस्क करिया पे हमें फंक्शन टा यूज करूचे तो ये जो फंक्शन टा हमें यूज करूचे तो ये हमको किछि वैल्यू रिटर्न करिवो हमें जदी एक्सपेक्ट करूनी जे फंक्शन हमको किछि वैल्यू रिटर्न करू तो से जगह में रिटर्न टाइप दबा को पड़िवो तो रिटर्न टाइप दियाला void मेन मेथड तो मेन मेथड इज कॉल्ड द एंट्री पॉइंट ऑफ योर प्रोग्राम हमें जेतेबेले जावा प्रोग्राम रन करिवा तो प्रथमतः से हमको खोजिवो मेन मेथड टा कोठी अछि इट इज ए मेन मेथड ऑल प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम द मेन मेथड मेथड रे गोटे पैरामीटर थाए मेथड माने होची कोन गोटे प्रोसेस प्रोसेस केमिति हबो ता भीतर किछि इनपुट देबो जदि हमें कमांड लाइन आर्गुमेंट रे हमें दीटा वे कैरेक्टर यूजर इंटरफेस रे किछि इनपुट फंक्शन को दबा से इनपुट गुडा को स्टोर हबो कोठी ना स्ट्रिंग args आरे भीतर तापर एठी रहला सिस्टम सिस्टम टा हला इट इज ए प्री डिफाइंड क्लास system dot out is a variable of print stream class which is responsible to display the information on a screen ने किछि जिंस डिस्प्ले करिया पे हम यूज करबा system dot out println method is used which is responsible to show information on the screen and cursor is moving to the next line print method it is used to display the information and cursor is present at the same line माने हमको इंफॉर्मेशन शो करबा कर्सर टा सेम लाइन रे रहिबो बुझियला प्रोग्राम टा
यस सर
अच्छा जावा रे हमें कहि परिबा हमें जावा रा कंपाइलर नेम of Java, that is called as a Java C. Java C is the compiler name. तो जेते आमे प्रोग्राम लिखि सरीवा प्रोग्राम टा को जेतले सेव करिवा हमर क्लास नाटा जहा थिवो फाइल नाटा शेयर रखि के सेव करिवा तो क्लास नाटा अछि माई प्रोग्राम तो फाइल टा को मु सेव करिवि माई फास्ट PRG होइबा तो जी ड्राइव रे मु सेव करूची तो माई फास्ट प्रोग्राम स्टोर करिवा विथ द एक्सटेंशन ऑफ .java रे स्टोर करिवा ताको हमें सेव करले प्रोग्राम सेव कले ए टाइप आसी गला आ देखो एटा होची कमेंट लाइन जोटा ग्रीन कलर अछि कमेंट लाइन इज ए नॉन एग्जीक्यूटेबल पार्ट ऑफ ए प्रोग्राम ओके सो टाइम सरी आसी तो नेक्स्ट क्लास रे मंडे दिन को
टेक्स्ट पैड रे अब के हमर आउटपुट भी बाहर पड़िबो
हां हां केमती रन होबो देखेबी तुमको आउथरी टाको डिस्क्राइब करिकी ओके केमती रन होबो हमें देखियो हैना
यस सर
पठे दो ओके सो एटा हम पठे देबी प्रोग्राम टा
ओके सर